What's going on, everyone? Nick from Subimods here today, and we are debuting finally the Molded Innovations EvoGlow DynamicLume taillights. You guys have asked for these for months. We've been hard at work with Molded Innovations trying to get these in. We finally have the first batch. Pre-orders are flying out. This product is by far the best looking taillight on the VB platform. There's a lot of people who didn't like the first CS style, like the kind of more structured style to the actual EvoGlow series. It kind of mirrors more of what you'll see on the OEM. There's a lot of people who like the OEM as well. This product, you know, might not be for everyone, but at the end of the day, it shows that there is more to come from Molded Innovations. We're working on more styles, more versions, more colorways, but right now we're gonna debut the options that we have available to purchase today. Starting off, you're gonna see both versions here. You're gonna see the white bar, you're gonna see the red bar, and there'll be 3 lens types offered. So we're doing a clear, we're doing a light smoke, and we're doing a traditional smoke. We had a lot of customers come to us and say, oh, you know, the smoke is too dark, I don't like it, but I don't want clear. Gotta go right in the middle, right? With the light smoke. So that's what you're looking at here. Obviously, as you darken the lens, you lose a little bit of that finite detail of the light as it gets, or as the light is off. But once these power on, which we'll show you as we get into the install, it is a vibrant, vibrant light. The DynamicLume portion of this light was something we worked heavily with Molded Innovations on to ensure that the overall depth, the brightness of the LEDs was as strong as it could be. They have also worked on ensuring that a lot of the sweeping is very clean. You're not gonna see any jumps, breaks in the actual animations on and off on the sweep. This is a full sequential light. Now, some of the previous lights that Molded Innovations has offered have allowed you to turn off the sequential with a switch on the back of the light. We felt that that wasn't the way to go with this light. We have seen some issues in the past by having that switch there. It just creates another fail point. So this is a sequential only for the blinker. But what this does add that is very cool and unique to this platform is the track ready hyper blink. So this is something that will come off by default, and it is only designed to be used on the track, but it actually takes that center version of the light here, that center square, and makes it a hyper blink module where that, you know, when the brake pedal is depressed, you're gonna get that really cool animated F1 style brake light. So again, that it's a track use only version. We're not recommending customers utilize that on the street, but it is a nice little feature add there. Other than that, as you can see, this whole light is OEM replacement. There is nothing that needs to be transferred over from your OEM lights, so it is by far one of the simplest installs. 3 tools we're gonna use. Simple socket, 10 millimeter, Phillips head screwdriver, and if you have a door panel tool or a flathead, plug and play connection. Installation time, it's gonna be less than what I'm gonna talk, you know, in my talking segment. So we'll get through it. We'll show you how to take the OEM off, put these on, and then also how to activate the track ready hyperblink. So that way, you know, you guys know how to do it, and we'll walk you through just a demo of animations, and you know, I'll stop talking and we'll get to the install. Let's do it. All right, guys, so installing these taillights honestly has never been easier. The VB platform makes it super easy. It is one push clip on the outside, so obviously trunk's gotta be open, and then we're gonna start right there. This plastic panel will come off pretty easily. Ideally, we want you guys to use a plastic panel tool. This piece here, you are gonna have to put a little bit of pressure on, and sometimes flatheads, you know, aren't kind to plastic elements. So these clips are a little unique. It's just a quick 180-degree rotation, and then that inner part of the Phillips head releases, and then you can just take that out. Grabbing our door panel tool or plastic pick tool, you're gonna go in from the trim side to the plastic and just push out, kind of work your way through. You'll see that that bracket releases, and then that is free. 2 10 millimeters right here, and this light is gonna be free, and we're gonna be on our way to installing. All right, so both 10 millimeters removed. Sometimes, obviously, this light's been out of the car a few times, so you're already gonna kind of see that it's already kind of depressed and falling out. But on a factory car that's never been touched before, you may have to work it just a little bit to kind of get it to release. All right, so a little pause here. So for users who've installed a third brake light from Molded Innovations, you know that you have your adapter here that jumps the actual taillight connection to be able to have that brake light or that third brake light work. In that case, you're gonna wanna pull the connection closest to the body of the taillight, right? We don't want to interrupt anything that's already been working. For users who don't have a third brake light, you're going to be working off of that factory gray connector here. Once that's out, taillight is free. You're going to want to save these, right? We recommend no one should be selling OEM taillights. These are a very expensive unit. You want to keep them in case anything happens, you get in an accident, maybe you have a unique failure, something unique happens to the light that isn't ideal. You definitely don't want to be without taillights. That's just a little bit of a pro tip. We see this a lot where people sell their OEM lights and then for some reason you got to trade the car in, you got to turn your lease in, whatever it is, and then you're basically spending more money to go backwards. While you have the taillight out, an important step that you cannot miss when installing these taillights is to put in your new base clip for the outer side of this taillight. So the Molded Innovations versions have a little bit different of a mounting point and they require this new version. So what you'll do is you'll just get your plastic pick tool. This is why we said it's important to utilize something with a plastic head on it, and you'll just come in here and you'll simply just depress and that should clip out very easily. So with the factory clip out, what you're gonna do, this is gonna take a little bit of pressure, but you're just gonna get it in there, give it a good whack, and you're in. You're ready to get the taillight in now. So for the video, we are gonna do a left with the white lens, or excuse me, the white bar, and then we're gonna do a red on that side, just so we can give you guys kind of both options here in a quick and easy manner. So one clip back in here, real easy. Just make sure that's fully seated. These connectors can be a little bit of a pain. We're gonna just kind of finagle that back in. So before we get this light seated back in the car, you're gonna wanna make sure that you're mindful of this left-hand side clip here. So we're gonna wanna make sure that lines up first. Our left-hand side here lines up, and that light is seated and in. Hold that light in, don't lose your grip on that. We don't wanna see anyone drop a light right off the side of the car. Just a little hand tight, get both in. All right. You don't have to go crazy on the tightness with these. This is a simple, when it's tight, it is tight. There's no reason to crank on it. We don't want anyone cracking the base of this plastic here. All right, so and from here, you have your panel trims. Remember that they do come in on that angle. So give it a little bit of a clip, that'll seat. Clip goes in reverse order. Once you have that done, that is it, literally 5 minutes. This is in. You can watch us work on the right side, and then we'll take you through all of the functions here. In, clip, lock. We swapped out the white bar version for the red bar version. That's what's gonna live in the car, so we didn't wanna bore you guys with that. But basically, what we're gonna do now is walk you through the features. So starting from top to bottom, you have your outside stripe here. Every one of these notches will illuminate along with the upper bar. It does a wake up and a sleep kind of cycle when power goes to it and when power is cut from it. The center section here is gonna be your brake display. This is also where the track ready hyperblink is gonna activate. Something to note about the track ready hyperblink is it is not a continuous, every time you press the brake it's gonna hyperblink. There is an active resistor in there that prevents that double hyperblink. So press the brake, hyperblink goes active. It will display that first hyperblink, and then about 10 seconds after, if you depress the brake again, it will hyperblink again. But in between that, if you were to push the brake rapidly twice, you're not gonna get a double hyper blink off this. So for those people on the track, we just wanna make sure that that's covered so no one feels like there's an issue with that light. Below that, you're gonna get the sequential blinker, which will sweep outward towards the side of the taillight. And then below that, you'll get your bright LED reverse light. So all four of those features really add up truly to a very high quality presentation. So Molded Innovations includes a paper guide on how to change the functions, right? So your track ready brake light, and then also the kind of hyper flash reverse light, which probably a lot of people may not think of, but it is a little cool addition, right? So we'll start with the brake function. So what you're gonna do, foot on the brake, right? Ignition on to full power, and we're gonna flip that stalk 3 times, real fast. 1, 2, 3. And then that, release brake, and then you'll notice on your next push that your hyper blink is either activated or deactivated. Now, same process for your reverse function, right? So we'll do reverse. And now you'll notice that your reverse light will hyper blink on first click into reverse, and then we'll hold solid white. And that is it, simply done. So a little bit of a function Q&A here. So if you have a Molded Innovations brake light that has a hyper flash option on it already, and for example, you wanna not have track ready hyper flash on your taillights, what you would wanna do is, if you already have hyper flash activated, right, we would just simply disconnect the taillight adapter going to the brake light, right? Not the actual large adapter, just the connector that pigtails off into the brake light. So we would disconnect that here. That would allow you to either toggle on and off track ready on the taillights independently from the brake light. Now, the same situation would apply if you wanted to toggle the brake light independently, the third brake light, from the taillights. The only difference would be is you would not connect your taillights. You would make your adjustments for your brake light and then connect your taillights secondly. So we want to make sure people understand the customization ability of each lighting component, and it's just a matter of knowing exactly what is happening with the connections. The cool thing about that is that once you sync it up the way you want, if you want it to be track ready on all 3 components, once you have the taillights and the brake light aligned, that toggle we just showed you inside will do that for every piece of the lighting system in the rear, which is a very cool feature because it's all built into each specific unit. Now, again, simply once you're done, reconnect, you have your settings good, plug into the taillight, and you're on your way. All right, so we hope everyone enjoyed this quick walkthrough and detail video on the Molded Innovations EvoGlow DynamicLume tails. These are available. We have them on the website. Limited inventory for the first run, but depending on when you're watching this video, we'll be stocking these regularly. So as I said, these are gonna be offered in the 6 versions. You're gonna have the white bar, the red bar, clear lens, light smoke lens, and smoke lens. So head on over to the website, secure your set today. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. Is the OEM light better? Are these the best? I don't know. I'm a big fan of these, so let us know in the comments at the least. Like, follow, subscribe. Thank you, everyone. Big shout out to the VB community. You guys are extremely active. We love it. We love supporting this car. We love supporting the community as a whole. But again, big shout out to our VB owners. They're making products like this possible in collaboration with our manufacturers. So thank you guys. Appreciate everything.